And I've got a hot take, and I'm going to hot take this to some of our North Carolina fans, anyone watching this show right now. Right now, through the first 12 weeks of the season, is Jordan Travis the best quarterback in the ACC? And if not, where would you rank him amongst the quarterbacks right now in the ACC? Now, obviously, it's a depleted group because Miami's lost their quarterback, NC State's lost their quarterback.
Let's see if me and Mark will do the same thing at the same time.
Mark and I don't agree on a lot of things, but I would say second as well. But where would you put him, and why?
Yep. Yeah, I've got him behind Drake May. What Drake is doing right now in North Carolina is very special. They've got a quarterback there and very talented. I wish I could see more of his games, but just going off of highlights that we'll see after games throughout the weekend, that's a talented quarterback. But for Jordan Travis, Drake May wasn't there. This is the best quarterback with, Jordan Travis and Florida State, that guy at the helm right now, just to see his progression. And if you look at the stats, man, you look at it compared to other schools, and understand too, you can look at conference and SEC, Bryce Young, or the competition that he's going against, blah, blah, blah. But nonetheless, watching Jordan Travis grow like he has as a passer, as a guy protecting the ball, just getting better with his reads. And then when he needs to, using his legs, that's a scary quarterback that Florida State holds in the ACC right now. But interested to hear Mark too on this.
Yeah, Mark, you've got him at 2 as well. I think we all have a consensus. But why would you put him at 2? And I'm assuming you'd put Drake May ahead of him. Mark, you're muted.
You might be muted, Mark.
Mark, you're muted. Mark.
There we go.
Come on, Mark. Come on. We've only been doing this for 186 weeks, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know. We'll get the hang of it after another 186. But Drake May, I think the way the Heisman race is shaping up right now, it's wide open. And so he just continues to improve and just gifted runner and passer. But anyway, Jordan Travis, though, you got to consider that he's done it against a tougher schedule than Drake May has playing over in the Coastal. He's done it against a Clemson defense, an LSU defense, an NC State defense. He's just better defenses, better schedule. Jordan Travis has been, he let the ball hit the ground twice against Syracuse. That doesn't happen in practice. Just an exceptional day for JT.
Oh, no.
And I agree. If I can add one other thing, because I think we had Logan on after the Louisville game, and I watched that game thinking the same thing. Wow, they got hit with adversity after adversity after adversity, with Tate Rodemaker having to play with Jared Verse leaving the game, just over and over injuries, and they're on the road. And that was, I think, a milestone win to get them going and build their confidence, give them confidence. This isn't a team that had won big road games in prime time. And then, I just think that was a huge lift for a team that Louisville looked like a bad team for a while, but they've turned out to be a pretty damn good football team, actually.
To me, my win would obviously, and I guess it's just the call me a slave for the moment, but I would say Syracuse right now, because like we said, LSU was the best opponent we've beaten this season. And we're seeing that right now. LSU is a team that's going to play for the SEC championship, outside shot at maybe a playoff berth if they get an upset in the SEC title game. Syracuse, to me, you have this game on the road coming off the big momentum, butt-whooping win of one of your two biggest rivals, and you're able to come out and dominate just as much, better as far as from the defensive side of the ball on the road. So to me, against, I would say, a better team. I would say Syracuse is a better team than that Miami team that we saw. So I would honestly rank Syracuse probably as our best win of the season. Number 2, I would agree with Louisville, because of the circumstance. And then number 3, I'd say LSU. But going back to Jordan Travis for just one moment, Logan, we talked about this at the start of the season, that one of the biggest things Florida State would have to do is Jordan Travis would have to be a better passer. We knew he was a good runner, be a better passer. Jordan Travis, look at the stats. If I had told you before the start of the season that Jordan Travis, through 10 games, would have thrown for 2,414 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, you would have probably said I started drinking again. But that's his stats right now through 10 games.
Shout out to Tony Tokars, man. First time getting the job here. Wow. As a young coach, seeing him develop him. And, Kenny Dillingham's doing a great job over there with Bo Nix at Oregon. Just something seems to click here with Tony Tokars and what he's doing. And we saw with Tate Rodemaker when he got put into the Louisville game, had a quick little rough start there, but then boom, switched it around and led a game-winning drive. But specifically going back to Jordan Travis, just seeing him go out there, connect, put some balls on dime. You saw that pass there with Miami, right on the money, deep to Ontario Wilson. He just is getting better week after week. And, the kind of theme, and we'll talk about it after the season, but there was a certain point too, after in the middle of those ranked games near the end there after the Clemson game where, Jordan Travis was not happy at practice. He was really pissed off, and Mike Norvell addressed that a few times. The coaching staff did too. And the players noticed that too, because, they were getting asked about it, but they also saw on the field, a guy that was really determined and to, just ticked off. Those losses really hurt him. And seeing that switch, the mental state that he has, not only now being a leader, but just on the field, putting these drives together that are just look gorgeous almost. And Mike Norvell does a really good job too of scheming this up against defenses. I just like that I'm seeing growth week by week. And, he early in the season, I thought there was a lot of hero ball stuff going on here. And I was like, that's one thing that I wish he would not try to do. And there was some times where he was running the ball and taking these hits, but he's just playing as a smarter quarterback, both with his body, his mental game, his reads. And it's showing on the stat sheets. Like you just said there, Jason, he has a chance to put up some really nice numbers that we haven't seen in a very long time at the quarterback position.
And we talked about it before the Miami game, that the one thing I think we were both concerned about was that Florida State, to that point, had not played a complete ball game. With there have been a couple of games where there was a quarter or two where mistakes were made, and you're like, okay, But I think the last two games have been complete ball games. I know we had a turnover in the second quarter, or first quarter, second quarter of this game, but even then, I mean, it's still for the most part two complete games that Florida State has played the last 8 quarters.
Yeah, and I'm wondering that can I mean, it will continue. I'm expecting to this weekend, but we're going to have a fun game to preview next week with Florida, which seems to be where Mike Norvell he can kind of dominate if he wants to offensively, because I'm not too sketched out about Florida's defense right now. On the other side, Adam Fuller's got a nice test ahead with his defense that is showing a lot of good consistency. Guys running the right assignments. Greedy Vance putting himself in the right positions. Guys stepping up. The defensive line is there with Fabian Lovett being the healthiest he's been since his injury at LSU. Jared Verse too, wanted to put out the last little bit of highlight. If you think about it, Jared Verse, this is highlight tape material. If he wants to have that one last game, just kind of like how it wasn't the last game for Jermaine Johnson, but what he did against Miami was ridiculous and was all over national attention. Jared Verse and a lot of these guys are going to want to put on a show here in Doak Campbell Stadium next Saturday, but you don't want to be selfish. That's the one thing I think, at least from being watching Mike Norvell coach and such, and what we've seen so far, this team isn't selfish, but they're going to try to work their tails off to put on some good tape for some of these guys that end up leaving.